Okay, we live? Okay, guys. Hey, welcome to, we're going to try this new program called Live El Reno. I'll be real brief and kind of get into it real quick. But the reason why we've done this, we used to have this great program, Mr. McVeigh and myself, and we still want to do it. We're going to do it. I've talked to Craig, called El Reno Now. And it helped us allow the schools and the city to get there and have speakers and ask questions of the community and get the right information out. And we both Craig and I felt real good about it. But the good thing about El Reno Now was we raised a lot of money for charity by having great speakers and getting all the information out that's going on in El Reno right now, whether it be school or city. So we probably going to be a while before we get that back. Probably after the first year before we can get that going. But we want to do that for the charities. We want to do that for the community. It's just been such a great deal. I can't thank Craig and his team enough, and our team at City of El Reno. We were getting in 50 to 60 people, and we had the matter of fact we had the governor come out to our big banquet, and we had a sold out crowd. We had to turn people away because we didn't have enough room. So we're going to get back to that. But saying that, what we want to do right now is we want to have El Reno Now just to get information out. Craig at the school has options that we don't have as far as you parents or teachers or on calls to different information. And they're doing a great job of getting all the information, especially all the battles they're fighting with the COVID and trying to adapt to the situation. But we felt like we didn't want other medias, whether it be El Reno Happenings or any other El Reno groups, community page or whatever else to kind of dictate that. And we want to use some of those through us, but we want to get the right information out, and we want to be able to answer your questions. We want you to be able to get the answers. We don't want this to be combative or anything else. I mean, we want to know what you want us to do. I think it goes back to the point to where El Reno 15 years ago is a lot different than what it is right now. El Reno 10 years ago is a lot different than what it is. It's a lot because of you and what direction you wanted to go, and what you gave us as leaders through myself being the mayor and all the other councils in between. So we're here to kind of answer some questions. So we're live, ask some questions, and we're on the Tribune and the El Reno city page, and we appreciate the Tribune doing this. And then we're going to post some of these questions and get the information out so everybody knows what's going on, and ask us questions and be respectful to us. We'll be respectful to you, and we'll see if we can get some answers out to you. Have we got any questions yet? Let's go to the first question that I've been getting a lot of in the grocery stores. Everybody says about, I got a letter in the mail about my tall weeds. Well, first of all, that letter didn't come from me or generate from me, but it did come from the city. And I will tell you this, we've had a lot of people, and all the town hall meetings that we had before the COVID, the number one thing was code enforcement, drainage, and roads, and other issues. So we wanted sidewalks, so we wanted to get those out. So our code enforcement's been writing letters. Here's a misconception. That's why I want to have this time with you. They're not writing a letter for you that you're in trouble. Some of it's writing because that one neighborhood has tall grass and weeds. People complain. We're trying to do our best. We don't want to write you a ticket. The code enforcement doesn't want to write you a ticket. The bottom line is, if you get a deal, don't be offended by it. Just call up and say, hey, I've mowed my grass. Mine's fine. It probably was one of our errors. And the other thing is, if you got a letter, it's not a fine. We're not out here to fine people. We don't want to condemn people's property. That's the last thing the city or we want. We don't have the money to do all that. But saying that, we have to keep our citizens and everything up. Now, I will tell you this. We understand what you're talking about. The last couple of weeks, we haven't done a very good job. I've talked to the city manager. I've talked to city staff, and they agree. We have a lot of spots at the lake on the backside that are wet. We can't get in, but we need to mow and do a better job of what we're doing, and we're going to do that. And the bottom line is, maybe we need a warning ticket, and I think we got that. We're working hard to get that done. But the bottom line is, if you get an issue, we're not after anybody. We're not trying to get anybody. And if you do get tickets or you get condemned, be sure you get the right story. It's not because that's the very first time you have a letter. Sometimes we have files that are that thick on one particular property or one what we call slumlord or whatever else that has done this over and over and over again. So we're not picking on anybody. We don't really have anything to do. Some of this stuff has gone back from the 90s. So we're trying to keep this thing picked up. Any questions yet?
Got a question on drainage on Boynton.
Yes. Good question.
Road repair for Michelle Keena.
Okay, Michelle Keena, she asked a question. Hi, Michelle. Yes, you had a question on the Boynton Street. That's a great question. we put that out to bid. We have a major break there. You know, we've done those in the past further on down towards Elm Street, Michelle. What we did was we had the engineer come out and look at it, and it's beyond what the city can do and repair itself. It's going to have to be a contractor. We went out there and cambered it, and it's been blocked off on both ends. So what has to happen? Everybody's saying, well, how come we're not fixing it? Well, it's out to bid, and the bottom line is, by law, it has to be out to bid for so many days, and it's in that process, and then we award the job, and then what we'll do is we'll do what they call a quick. We'll have a special meeting like we have in the past to award the bid and get them started as fast as they can. A lot of that stuff, unless it's deemed an emergency, which we haven't had emergency by the governor, then we don't have the ability to circumvent the law on letting the time frame on that get fixed. So Boynton Street is absolutely going to get fixed. We've had the plans drawn up. It's budgeted. We know what the price is from the engineer side, but we don't know what the contractor's bid yet, or we have not awarded that. I hope that answers your question, Michelle. We know it needs to be fixed. We're doing everything we can in a timely manner, but it is beyond what we can do, and if we try to do it, it wouldn't be near as good a job as what the contractor can do because it is more of a severe break. Any other questions? All right, we had one more. We had some from the about the water rates. That's another issue. The water rates, let me explain, you know, we have raised water rates, have been raised for several months now, but the bottom line is you shouldn't be, everybody says, well, my bill's $400, my bill's $300. It was just a flat rate, and don't forget, majority of that was passed on because we buy water from Oklahoma City, and that's what we did. And what we want to make sure that you understand, I don't think it's getting out, we are the lowest bill combined with all your water, sewer, everything else combined in Canadian County. And that's by design. We try to stay in that deal because our citizens, we want to make sure they can stay within that time frame and go from there. So what's the next question? The next question?
Holden Mayhem. Intersection of.
It's, I believe it's London and Mayhem, or is it, no, it's,
What's the question?
Drainage. Another drainage. Holden Mayhem.
Mayhem, Holden Mayhem, and I believe it's London,
Mayhem in London.
just a block south of Sunset.
I don't know. I don't know where you're talking about. Mayhem. Now, hang on. Is that where Stacy lives?
Faith Family Church.
Yes. Faith Family Church. Yes.
Yes.
Right there in the corner. It's not. It's Watts. No, it's Wade. She had shown something on there. The engineers went out there, and yes, we went and looked at that. And the bottom line was, Stacy went out there. There has been a pipe collapse. We have a pipe collapse, and we're working on that now. We will be doing that in-house ourselves, so we can be doing that. Let me have something. So. Yeah, it's a code enforcement issue. The bottom line is that no, we want to help, and we don't have the money to tear down houses or anything else. The bottom line is, Ms. Gray said, you know, you love this town. Sure, we love it too, and we sent letters out and tried to clean up the town. That's just what we've done. You know, if you get a letter or whatever else, if you feel offended by it, you know, we're sorry. It might be a mistake or one error. Let us know. But the main thing is, a lot of those are not a mistake, and we have to keep the whole thing clean. All of us, the city being included. So, Lori Sandoval asked, can you address the mosquito problem? Can you fog again? We can look at that, and I don't have a problem. I think the city staff did a lot of research with that. We had a lot of people get upset one way or the other. The bottom line is, the city of El Reno is not going to do anything without checking with the proper people, and they did that. It wasn't just a whim deal. We checked several weeks into that because we had people tag and say that they were terrible, and it did help for a while. So we want to be able to be able to continue everything that the other people want to help. Okay, is there another question?
Jennifer Bruce is asking about water bills going out. If there's a problem, she hasn't seen the water bill. She's just been paying online, but she also thanks us for being open and responsive. It's so appreciated.
Yeah.
So we'll look into any issues with water bills.
Sure, Jennifer, and that's a good question, Jennifer. The bottom line is, water bills, like I said, it's a flat rate. We're still the lowest in the county. We did that by design. We know we have to do it, but we have to take the money and put back into our water system. And you know, when I first got to be mayor, there was red water deals all on Tony Rivera's desk. Do we still have issues? Sure we do. Do we want to address those? Sure we do. We know where most of them are. If we don't, then let us know. But there's no sense in just blasting us on Facebook about it. Private messages, make an appointment with me or city staff. We'll be glad to come out and help you. And the bottom line is we want to be open and upfront. And I will tell you this, if you have not been upfront to the young ladies up front, our whole attitude up here has changed. We've done that by design. When I was acting city manager, that was one of the complaints we had. You know, we try to be responsive. We're not here to argue with you. We're here to do our job. You're here to do yours. We work for the city of El Reno, which is everybody in town. So we try to do a good job with that. Our employees do. Be respectful to them. They're going to be respectful back. But I know we've made a big change to the water department, and we're going to continue to do that. Any other questions?
I have a question regarding the creek at Gadbury Park.
Yes.
Clean out.
Yes. We had a lot of complaints this year on the creeks at Gadbury Park. Who was it, Sean? Okay.
Anonymous.
Okay. Anyway, the creeks at Gadbury Park. Yes, we're cleaning all the creeks out, and we did that all summer. If you remember correctly, we did. A lot of people said we didn't want to clean them out. We got a lot more to do. 4 Mile Creek and the creek behind Rose Witcher. I know Jacqueline Stevenson Smith is really working hard. We have some grant money coming. We're going to try to get that deal done with matching funds. If you notice, we've got more priority drainage projects we've ever had. We got to do more. Now, saying that, I will tell you this. One thing that's left out on our side, everybody complains, and we understand. A lot of people that get flooded, it's terrible. They're in a flood zone, or it's just an event that happens that we can't have anything to do with. Do we need to do more work? Absolutely. Are we working on that? Absolutely. We even have, with Matt Sandage's help, and Steve Fox and Jacqueline Stevenson Smith, myself, we're all working together to do a dry pond at Legion Park and to help more water. But I will tell you, one thing that people don't realize, the council, and I was mayor when this happened, we require all of the individuals to have retention. So all the areas that you have coming up as far as being built, we make them do retention, whether it be all the places out on Radio Road, they all got retention or areas to do that. We went and checked them the other day. And then like if Casey's goes in, they have to build a retention pack back behind. So everybody that builds has to have a retention area or up to do something. Another question?
Ms. Gray commented about her point on being on your comment was not having money, but you have had money for signs in someone's yard.
She had a sign in her yard
Silly.
because her.
Oh,
her yard got
well,
a-
Repeat the question.
She
okay.
did not have a problem with the letter. It's a good reminder.
Right.
But
Okay, Miss Gray had a comment. I can't see it, and you're not helping me. You guys are doing terrible at this. I'm just.
regarding the
Then I got you.
code enforcement
Sure.
line.
The bottom line is, we had a lot of complaints that Miss Gray's not caring about too. I hear what she's saying. She got a letter and she thinks that's considerate. Well, other people were saying, why don't we get a sign? I don't know. I drive by my property. I don't know that's my rental property or anything else. So that's why we did the signs. What the city's trying to do is take every step that someone comes up with. We're trying to make sure that that works to do everything we can. And one thing that one person might like or don't like, the other person suggested to it. All we're basically doing is suggesting, red button, suggesting kind of what, doing what the people want us to do. I mean, that's all there is to it. So I understand what she's saying, Ms. Gray, and I understand completely, and I appreciate her wanting the signs. But the other sign, so we went back because they kept on saying, we didn't get the mail, we don't get a hold of it, so that's why we did that. Does that make sense? Hope that clears that up, Ms. Gray.
Are the alleys?
Bruce asked, are the alleys the citizens' responsibility? It goes back to the point where what we have is we've always had the alleys, and the alleys are there for what they call utility easements. So a lot of people, especially the old part, have OG&E and everything else in the back. Some of them still have the sewer in the back. So they're all easements. Just like out front of your house, your water meter, that's on city property. We own so much all the way up. I say we, the citizens, we all own all the way up to so many feet up to your front yard. It's the same way. Yes, you are responsible to keep your yard clean and to keep the alleys maintained, everything else. The reason why we did a little bit in the past because we had trash trucks and everything else, but now we've gone to curbside. We don't do that. So, yeah, it always has been that way. It's always that way. and it's part of your yard like it is anything else.
Janae Fletcher asked if the digital
The digital sign is broken. We have plans to upgrade that, but we haven't done anything because of the crunch on money and everything else. So, we focused really honestly, a lot of our advertising and stuff that we to motel, we focused on out there on Country Club because it gets more traffic and it doesn't cost us a lot less than buying a big sign at this point in time. And with the fairgrounds moving and everything else, we don't know if that's maybe really the appropriate spot to do that. We have some other options there, and we're open for suggestions. Route 66 is a big deal. We talked about putting an old park there for people to stop by. There's other suggestions and more ideas to see really what's going to develop in that area when the fairgrounds moves out by the I-40. That's a good question. Another good question. Any other good questions? Jack, you got anything on contributing? Sean? So the bottom line is this. Okay, we just got one.
Nancy asked, can we have sidewalks here in El Reno, please?
Nancy who?
McNaught?
Nancy McNaught. Sure, Nancy. Yes, we're all excited about that. We're working real hard to do that. The council, I know, is all excited about. We had our ward meetings. The sidewalks were all what people wanted, and people wanted roadways. People wanted drainage. So we're going to work on all that. But here's where I really we're going to focus at. We are going to focus on Country Club and Elm Street in order to get all of that done. The city's got that, and we got the right-of-ways, Matt. Is that correct? We're working on that right now with businesses out there. And then also we got a grant, but the bottom line is there's going to be sidewalks on both sides from Elm Street all the way down to John's Grill, which is Wade, and then from Sunset at 81 all the way down to Country Club on both sides,
And from Sunset to Caddo.
and then from Sunset all the way to Caddo. So we have a great big sidewalk program coming that basically we got more than half of it was paid for by ODOT and the other is going to be us. So it's going to link all of our system together. It's going to take a couple years to get it all done, but we're real excited. We're going to start on that real quick.
Caitlin Gray asked, this may sound silly, but is there a safe way that the town can make an event for a fundraiser for town funds? It says shop local.
For shop local.
No, she's like to raise money for the city of El Reno to be able to do things.
Well, I think we it's our job. Here's what the thing is. Let's go back to what she's saying. Here's the bottom line. If someone needs help, we need to help. The churches and every other groups need to help people clean their properties up. It's not the city's job to do that. The city's job is to take your tax dollars and do it. This is my theory. Take your tax dollars and spend them wisely and provide the services that we do. The extra stuff, as far as the cleanup or other things, we need to be able to provide that with our citizens and be able to do that within those time frames.
She was meaning raise money for the city of El Reno.
We don't need, but you don't. The city of El Reno needs to handle our own. And you say raise money, we need to spend our money properly and spend our money on what they tell us to do. And what I'm trying to tell you is, Kay, you're trying to answer your question, is that basically we need to focus that deal on people that do need it, like blessing baskets, Lord's Harvest, Ministerial Alliance, things like that. El Reno School Foundation. Help grow the city of El Reno out more than just having a fund for money. We just need to spend your money properly.
But shopping locally does.
But shopping locally does, and shopping downtown. I'm going to tell you, downtown, we really, the shops downtown really need your support. This COVID deal really got them. A lot of the major brands are still hanging in there, like Walmart, stuff like that. But the small stores, the ones that are individually owned, the ones downtown, they really need your help. Try to shop down there. My family and my wife, my daughters, they try to shop downtown and just try to shop local. I know it's not possible to do it all the time, but it's important to do that.
Jennifer Bruce asked, how can we as citizens help the city, in your opinion, of course?
I think that Jennifer Bruce asked a great question. How can we as citizens help the city? Here's a couple of issues. The lake, if you pack trash in, pack trash out. That's help us pick up your own trash. The other thing is that basically help us with your neighbors. If you see someone help in need, get a church group, get a group together, help them out. El Reno's always been a great place for giving and kind people and trying to start different organizations and organizations caring about El Reno. So if you can do that, that'd be great. And I think the main thing is just help support us and give us ideas and basically shop local, keep your property up, support El Reno school systems, support El Reno businesses. And the main thing is just support us and give us ideas and hold us accountable.
How about putting a walking trail back in Frank Knight Park?
We talked about that, and we need to have another meeting down at Frank Knight Park because we just went down there and looked at that park. We're getting that creek cleaned out behind there. That's a big priority of ours. So we agree. Let us look into that. We have one down at Rose Witcher. That's a partnership between the city and the school. To help do that, but it's unlocked down there behind Rose Witcher. There's a walking trail there. But yes, walking trails are important, and we can look at that. I think to answer that question, we're more focused on trying to get the sidewalks in at this point in time, since we're so far behind on that to get people back and forth to work. But yes, that is a priority.
Brianna asked, are y'all going to mow the grass all over, or all of it in El Reno Lake?
Yeah, the bottom line is we're like everybody else. We've had a lot of rain. We have big tractors. We're sinking. We've been stuck back there twice. We're doing more damage than we are doing the good. So we're doing the best we can. Saying that, we're kind of like you if you got a letter. We know that it's high. We're trying to get it mowed. We're going to work with the city so we don't get a ticket. And we're doing the same thing. And that's the same thing. If you get something like that, just call up the city and talk to them. We're going to work with you. We want this to work for not only you, but for us.
Boat races next week, so we're going to get it all cleaned up.
Yeah, and don't forget we got the boat races coming in, so we're trying to get that cleaned up for them and those folks. But it's not just an event coming in. Don't get us wrong, though. The bottom line is we know we got to get cleaned up. We've had weather just like you all have, and it's tougher on the backside because it's a floodlit area, so it's hard for us to get our machinery in there. But we are going to do that, and we're going to get going on.
Are we doing anything about all of the vacant shops downtown?
Any of that business does itself. We try to help businesses. We provide sidewalks downtown. We provide parking lots. But businesses have to provide do that. We go to everything. We want anything in the world. We want everything that we can get. We want shops. We want everything. Those businesses have to want to be here. And they have demographics. Some of them have big, long papers and big departments that show them how and why, what's going to be successful, what's not going to be successful, how many population you have to have, which brings another good point out. Make sure you sign your census up because the numbers are going to help us a bunch in El Reno if we get that number up. Because once we get 25,000 people, that's when Yukon grew. That's what the counts because there's 200-something thousand people right around there within a 3-mile radius. And it all goes back to people. People. So that's what we have to have. We're getting more houses than we've ever had. We're going to get more restaurants. We're going to get sit-down restaurants. We're going to get all that, but it's going to take more people and more people to do things. So I didn't really answer that. We would love to work with people downtown. We're open for suggestions. We want to make it work. Like I said, owning a small business is tough. So all we can tell you is support your small businesses. Go down and shop with them.
Speed bumps in neighborhoods.
There was something, and this is why we did this, because someone posted these big speed bumps. That's more liability. We understand. The bottom line is we have to hold people responsible. Speed bumps, it's just like stop signs, everything else. To you and I might just say, we need to put a stop sign there. But police officers that do traffic studies, that's what they do for a living. They do all these studies. Putting a stop sign up might not help the situation at all. It might be more patrolling, more signage. So what we're trying to do now is basically assess some of those areas and have extra patrol, and we're doing that. We're patrolling different areas. We're focusing on the school areas, but we have been restriping downtown. We've been restriping the crosswalks. We're going to continue to do that. But as far as the big speed bumps, really it's more liability on the city side. It affects drainage. It affects a lot of things. Now we have talked about putting some dips in some areas. And we're going to do that on certain areas.
Make sure that they're good for ambulance and fire trucks.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is the bottom line is it could really cost life. We, being the city business, do a better job of policing, and they're doing that. And I shouldn't say that. Police officers are doing a good job. They're patrolling. I know that for a fact because we see the tickets.
Zones and slowing the people down. Rock Island is a huge concern with the junior high and high school kids crossing everywhere.
Yeah, and we're working on that right now with the sidewalks and the ODOT. And don't forget, it's not just a city issue. We have to deal with ODOT. And don't forget, you keep on saying Rock Island. Rock Island is 81 and 66, which is a highway. The problem is El Reno's older community, which is great. We love our history. But they're high school in an area where there's not high traffic. Well, we didn't have that choice, and we love our high school. We love our campus area. Lights in there. We put. I think we've got all the school zones working now. There, I'm with her. They were speeding. Some of that their contractor did. So that's where we're at. Any other questions?
It's been almost 2 months, and the eyesore is still there.
Just private message it. She said the question was how long does it get a 10-day letter out? Once again, sometimes, to be honest with you, we're trying to work with people. So we might call up here and we might have contacted them, and I said, well, I'm out of town for so and so. I'm going to be here. I got my cousins coming in, but we'll stay on top of it. If you show a little bit of taking the steps to clean it up or do something better, they're going to work with you. And we don't have a lot of control. It's basically driven by code enforcement and rules, but they're going to work with you. But if you have something that you have turned in and you're still frustrated with it, then call them and tell them again. Call Kim or Shelly or private message me the address, and we'll turn it in. Or the main key is go to that C-Click Fix. Go to C-Click Fix. That's the other thing. Let's talk about that real quick. C-Click Fix, Get that app. That app generates a work order for all of us, for the workers, for the supervisors. I get a copy generated. So give them that Reno Connect, and that'll really help you turn a lot of stuff in, and we can track that. And then if you come back and say, well, I called, we can say, no, you didn't. This helps us do our job, and it helps track what you're saying that we need to do. So Reno Connect's a big deal. Any other questions? Well, I think we did pretty good. We did 30 minutes, and we're going to try to do this in 2 weeks. We're not going to take a lot of comments and get on here. If you have questions, private message me or the City of El Reno, and let us know our comments. I hope you like our format. We're trying to do this. We're trying to be open. We're trying to be an open book. Let us know what we can do to help. We're going to replay this. Don't add comments. Save them and ask me next time, because we're going to try to do this again in a week. So we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. And I hope you like it, and we'll see if it works out. We want to make sure we get all the answers answered. And if there's something that you have a question about, just call me. My number is 659-2596, or come up and meet our new city manager, Matt Sandage. He's doing a great job. We got a great team up here. We're all trying to do the best job we can. I don't get paid a dime. I do it because I love El Reno, and I know a lot of people that are watching this do too. So we just all need to work together, and let me know what you think, and let me know. See you next time. El Reno Live.